Okay, warm welcome back to Feeling Called Pod. Wayne, Paul, how are you guys?
Very well, thank you, Seth.
New year, new man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's new pod too. It's been a while. Well, tonight, depending on your time zone, we are talking about Stone Roses debut. We spun the wheel of debuts, which is what I'm going to call it for lack of a better term.
Wad. You spun the wad.
Yeah, the WAD, wheel of debuts. Um, I always mean to remind myself who else was on there when so that I can mention like who the Stone Roses beat, but I don't know that anyone really cares. So
They didn't beat, it was just random.
yeah, but it's like the lottery, right? Like if you win Mega Millions, you've kind of beat everybody else, right?
You're the best at the lottery.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
like it.
So, guys, initial impressions. I know this is the first time both of you have heard this record, so give me your hot takes.
It's a solid 5 out of 10.
A middle of the road.
Yep, really easy listening.
Um, well, I don't think it's any surprise that this record is
I think it's
considered.
better than a 5 out of 10.
6 then.
6. Uh, Wayne was not even born when this record came out, right?
Yes, he was.
Oh, he was.
Pretty sure I was.
May 2nd, 1989 is when it was released.
I was 4.
Wow, you'd been crawling around the world for a couple years at that point,
Probably even walking, maybe.
and skipping.
Maybe.
Paul, how old were you when this record came out?
Well, so I was came out in 1989, so I guess I was 13. I didn't hear anything from this record until I was maybe 16 or 17. And somebody made me a mixtape and it had She Bangs the Drums on it. And I liked that a lot. And it was an odd thing because usually you hear about a band and it's like, oh, they'll be playing soon. You'll be able to see them. Like, oh, let's go see them. And that never happened. And then it took forever for the second coming to come out. But I guess it didn't take too long from when I was introduced to them for the second coming to come out. But we're not talking about second coming today. But yeah, I heard She Bangs the Drums on a mixtape, and then I got the album, and it was my very early years of getting into music that I still like now.
Yeah, well, I mean, Stone Roses were definitely, we've talked about Radiohead, Suede, Oasis. Stone Roses would be the earliest so far. And the interesting thing to me is always how, if you want to say 1989 is when the debut record came out, they had existed for 4 years, at least 4 years prior to that. So it was a bit of a buildup for them, whereas I think to the point where I was kind of thinking about it, and I never considered really the Stone Roses being a contemporary of the Smiths. In my head, I felt like they always came a bit after. But as far as playing gigs around Manchester and being in that music world, I mean, they were around at the same time, you know?
Okay, so full disclosure, in order to prepare for this, I listened to the 8-hour Bandsplain two-part episode about Happy Mondays, Stone Roses, and there's a lot of interesting information in there, but they don't get into the they don't get into the nitty-gritty of, like, each song like we do, so I was a little nervous when I listened to it. I was like, "Well, what are we gonna have to add?" But I'm like, "Oh, no, like, we talk about, like, every song, and they don't really do that." So, but I did learn some things from that, and like just historical things and place and time, and Noel Gallagher being like the roadie for the Spirals at the time, um, and the connection with Factory and Tony Wilson and all that stuff. And I don't know if we need to really get into that. We can talk a little bit about it if you want to.
Well, it is part of the whole world building of Manchester in the '80s and early '90s.
Not not everybody listens to Bandsplain.
Yeah, what is that
I've never heard of that. It sounds
did you
great.
say 8 did you say 8
It was
hours?
8 hour
How
it was like
did
it was a little over, I think it was somewhere in between 7 and 8 hours long.
holy mackerel, I
And
need to dive
it
in
was
on that.
Mondays and Stone Roses, and one of the things that I got out of it was I was like, "Oh, yeah, I've never really liked the Happy Mondays, and I still don't like the Happy Mondays."
Oh, I love the Mondays.
I like the Mondays.
Yeah, I don't get it, I don't, but I think
Wait,
part of the problem is that I never got into them back in the day, so, like, trying to get into them now is like, I mean, I could see if you tried to play the first Stone Roses album for anyone and be like, "Check this out." Like, I could see people being like, "I don't get it. I don't understand the appeal," but back in the day, it was like, I don't know. It was a huge deal. I could see people not really understanding why it's important, but, it's a great album. It's a great album. I played the LP on my hi-fi and was like, "It sounds tremendous. It sounds so good," and I enjoyed every minute of it. So, all right, I'll let Seth, what are we gonna talk about? What do we need to talk about?
well, I mean, we can just jump in. I mean, I was gonna kinda give a short preamble of kind of the record to set the stage. May 2nd, 1989 is when it was released. It was released on Silvertone, which was, I think, an imprint on Zamba, which Zamba evolved into Jive. So,
Yeah, it was
typical,
Jive.
yeah,
It's a Jive.
yeah, typical music industry just kind of like evolving into, because when I think of Jive, obviously you think of like R&B and hip hop and
Right,
stuff.
but you know where the name came from?
Yeah.
The name Silvertone.
Oh no, I don't.
So, John Squire came up with the name Silvertone, which is named after the Sears guitar brand Silvertone. Um, but, like, the Silvertone was basically created just for the Stone Roses.
Interesting. Yeah, that makes sense because I feel like I would always notice that, you know, kind of like before you could just access the internet and look everything up, I would always notice Silvertone. And, as a music listener, if a band is on a label or you see, oh, who is this? Okay, well, let me check it out. And say it was, I never could really find anyone else on Silvertone.
You know,
Um,
I can say for sure that the 2nd Spectrum album, Highs, Lows, and Heavenly Blows, came out on Silvertone, but I can't think of anything else.
it was recorded at Battery Records in Northwest London, but parts of it was also recorded at Conk, which is the Kinks studio. Found that kind of interesting. Um, that they built and owned for. I think maybe they still own it. I don't know. Producer John Leckie, who some of his credits include Magazine, Ecstasy, The Fall, Verve, A Storm in Heaven, and Radiohead, The Bends.
Yeah,
Um,
but Lecky, his discography goes back, um, I had it, hang on, let me pull it up,
yeah, I
but
have like his so he worked as a tape operator
yeah,
at Abbey
exactly.
Road, which what does a tape operator do, guys? Do you know?
It's just like you're in charge of running the tape machines. Like,
Oh,
that's the big, massive tape machines, and, that's is an important job, but it's also kind of a lower, you're not the producer, you're not the engineer, you just, like, you're running the tape machine, but it's an important job, But
More like John Lackey, right, guys?
That part in his career, certainly. Probably running around, getting weed for the guys, right? Heroin for John
doubt.
Lennon.
I don't think so. I don't think he was doing that. Uh,
Um, but yeah, he worked on All Things Must Pass as a tape operator, John Lennon, Plastic Ono Band, the first Sid Barrett solo album.
that's just bonkers. It's so crazy to think about that. And you know, I guess when he did the Stone Roses album, when he first started working with them, he was not impressed with their playing ability. He forced them to rehearse a whole bunch and kind of whipped them into shape, which checks out. They hadn't really played a lot of shows, before they started that on the record. But the rhythm section is fucking phenomenal. Rennie and Annie, they're so good. And Squire is so good. And I hate to say it, but like, who's the weakest? Who's the weak link here? It's obviously Ian Brown. Sorry, is what it is.
Uh-oh. Well, we can get into that and
We will get.
we can go head to head. But one other quick thing on Lecky, when um the Benz was being recorded, Nigel Godrich was an engineer on the Benz. And he was really he held Lecky in high regard after that project and kind of, at least initially, I guess, I don't know, he probably evolved as he went on, but he said he was kind of like cribbing some notes when he became a producer. He really kind of took the blueprint that he saw Lecky do with this, or with sorry, with the Benz, and carried it forward, which, that's pretty high praise. I think Nigel Godrich is really well respected. So to have that guy sing your praises like that, I think is something. Um,
The other thing about Lecky, well, it says here that Manning was a big fan of his work with the Dukes of Stratosphere,
Yes.
which is the XTC spin-off psychedelic band that I'm a big fan of. Well, I wonder how they even came to being in touch with Lecky and how that whole relationship worked out. Because I don't hear any Dukes of Stratosphere in this material. So just kind of interesting.
well, you do hear. I mean, so I listen to this record so much that it's become its own unique thing. But kind of reading about it before jumping on this, people do kind of talk about it in the terms of it's kind of bringing 60s psychedelic rock to kind of like dancey, more what was called Manchester type of sound, right? So I guess if I'm listening with a closer ear, I can I could see some of that. But yeah, Wayne, I'm with you. Paul, I don't know how you feel about it, like how much 60s you hear in this.
Yeah, for sure. I think that the whole baggy dance-based thing is way more of a Mondays thing than the Roses thing. I mean, what songs on here, like Fool's Gold, obviously.
Uh-huh.
We'll talk about that later. But most of these songs are like classic rock songs. They're not drum machine loops. Like that's not what they are.
You mean it doesn't have so I Am the Resurrection has that really tight, snappy drum sound, but nothing else does. Um, so it's
Yeah.
classic in that sense that they are a rock band, not a
Well,
baggy band.
Well, we talked about this a bit with Britpop and how really if you're being honest with yourselves, a lot of those bands don't really sound alike. But Paul, you're right. I don't hear a ton of dancey stuff on this record. But in the spirit of genre labels, I think all these bands were playing Manchester. Um, the hacienda and all the different clubs around there.
Apparently, the hacienda was very unsuccessful for the first few years, and Tony Wilson lost a ton of money on that club because it was mostly designed just for the bands on the label, so everybody would get free drinks, and there weren't a lot of people coming in, and they weren't making any money. But I guess Wilson was never a very good businessman, but he had New Order, and that was key. Yeah, it kept him alive. It kept him going.
Yeah, I would say that the majority of things that Tony Wilson did in his life probably did not make him a ton of money. Um, I think part of that might be from just kind of bad decisions. I also think part of it was um, just really loving the music and the bands and becoming friends with them. Um, that movie 24 Hour Party People was where Steve Coogan plays Tony Wilson is I think, like, required viewing for anyone who likes music, you don't even have to doesn't even have to be this type of music, it's just a guy who goes from being, a broadcaster on a kinda just like a community-based show and running a label with some of the most influential bands that time period saw, you know? But yeah, that's a whole other podcast, guys.
Right. Should we get into the record?
Yeah, let's jump in.
All right.
So it starts off with "I Want to Be Adored."
10.
That's definitely a 10.
That's a 10.
And it's cool that it starts with that super slow fade.
Yeah, it's a great way to start a record. It's a great way to start the first song on your debut record.
The lyrics are so sparse on this one, but they immediately established what I think is Squire's sort of obsession with religious imagery, and he's also anti-religion.
Mhm.
Um, I don't have to sell my soul. He's already in me, which is fucking great lyric. Just so good.
Yep.
And that's kind of all you need. Like you're good. Like you got that. Like you're good.
I was thinking
Uh,
about this song earlier, and it's one of those great cases of less is so much more. Um, n- Once you've got that line, then I want to be adored. That's all you need. Um, it's a really good lesson in restraint.
Well, Paul, like you, I always and still to this day get a religious feeling, but also without as weird as it sounds, that line has always kinda conjured up that sentiment while also feeling like keeping it very, arm's length, maybe several arms lengths away. They don't strike me as a religious band, but they certainly play with those themes, as
well,
evidenced
I,
in I Am the
I
Resurrection
I
later.
do think that overall they play with those themes, but I do feel like they are anti-religion.
Well, what's your take on that line though? Because I always see it as satanic.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which line's satanic?
Well,
He's already I don't have
you
to
don't
sell my soul.
sound
He's
my
already
soul.
I mean, it's
It's
very like,
pretty on the nose, right?
yeah.
Almost like not to I always hear spiritualized and also, Spaceman 3, something like Walking with Jesus, but, um, obviously Jason Pierce sings a lot about that, and I've never really read too much into what he believes and what he doesn't, but I always felt like he's kinda using the imagery and the themes, but might not necessarily be super religious.
Well,
Um
Pierce uses, the religious imagery as a metaphor for drugs, but here, the roses, and I feel like it's mostly Squire. If you look into it, he's really not. I've as I've said, it's anti-religion, especially I Am the Resurrection. I don't think it is definitely different than what Jason Pierce does. He's using religious imagery, but he's anti. That's my take on it.
You know, it's interesting because someone who's not religious, and I don't think really any of us here are, almost to the point of being like you're saying Squire is anti-religion. Um, I don't know that I've ever, even though every time I hear this song, that those lines always strike me as kind of around, kind of being in that ballpark. I've never really thought about it any further than that, to the point where I've never looked up at like, "Oh, hey, are these guys religious?" Not to segue again, but, someone like Nick Cave who would write songs like "God Is in the House" and, I mean, I don't know, it's a laundry list of songs where I would think that he would be I almost felt like he was kind of making fun or pointing out things that were ridiculous about religion, but, I recently learned that eh, he says he believes in God and he goes to church and stuff, which,
Yeah, I think he is a religious person, which is interesting, but I
yeah,
don't think Squire is. I
yeah.
think Squire's whole thing is the opposite.
Yeah, but
Religious
goddamn, great.
imagery is the best imagery.
I
There's a
agree.
lot to graft from.
I will say with I Wanna Be Adored, I mean, that lead guitar line is so great, and something I've been thinking about recently is, Squire used, Gretsch Country Gentleman. He's seen with that guitar on a lot of the photos from this era, which now is seen as a classic, very cool guitar, but I don't think it was at the time. I think it was very cheap. It was cheap to buy a guitar like that back then because nobody really cared about those. Um, but I don't know if he used that guitar on this particular song, but is something I've thought about recently. Those vintage guitars were so cheap in the '80s. But
Well, let's not okay.
sorry. The guitar playing is just fantastic. It's so good.
Well, we can't forget about Manny's bass line either. Is that the first thing that you hear, or is there guitar before that? But,
No, there's bass. It's the bass.
yeah, I just that comes in and it's like, it reels you in, man, like the hook in mouth, "Reel me into the boat, coming home."
Yeah, it's got that great swirly start to it. The bass line comes in, and then the guitar starts noodling, and then you get that ka ka from Rennie, and it's in, and it's awesome.
Yep.
I'm cur I don't know if Manny wrote that part though, because he was not the original bassist. In fact, that I sent you guys that version that Martin Hannett, famous for Factory Records and Joy Division, New Order, and a million other bands. But he had, I think, produced a album's length worth of songs, many of the ones that went on to be on, the actual debut. And I don't think Manny was in the band yet. I think that was 1985. And I think Pete Garner, the original bassist, was in until at least 86, 87. So, but regardless of whether he wrote it or not, he plays it so brilliantly. I don't even think that part is as obvious in that earlier Hannett produced version. But
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but Manny is an amazing bassist. I think it became clear to me when he joined Primal Scream. If you listen to his playing on like Kowalski, it's
Mhm.
insane. He's a machine. He's just just so locked in. But yeah, right. So I don't know whether he came up with maybe he didn't. Maybe he was just playing whatever Hannett came up with, but or whoever, I don't know. But whatever. It certainly can't take away from him as a genius bass player, and also so sad that he passed away recently. Um,
Yes, very so young too. 'Cause, I mean, 63 is like, I mean, Paul, you're almost 63.
quite, but I did meet Manny one time.
You did?
Did, that was at I know I've told you guys this, but it was at a Primal Scream show, and I wound up getting backstage, and he was there, and nicest dude in the world, and
He
everybody
seemed
said
very warm and affable
yeah,
in
everybody
kind of
says
videos I've seen.
he was, like, bouncing around the room, just very upbeat, very happy to talk to anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's my, algorithm just is tuned into people who like the same music I do, but, when certain people pass, it feels like there's just, like, this flood of, tributes and stuff, and Manny was certainly one where, like, even days later, I was still seeing a bunch of posts on it. So, he's someone who, a lot of people loved and respected, and he played a lot of good music that we all love.
Pour one out for your homie.
Yeah. Well, next, so you go from I Want to Be Adored right into She Bangs the Drums, which
10,
okay,
10.
yes, that is a 10. And we don't have to get bogged down in it, but I will address the Ian Brown being the weak link, in the regard that his lyrics are so good throughout this record,
Okay, hang on.
and She Bangs the
Write all the
Drums, The
lyrics.
Past is Yours, but the Future's Mine, You're All Out of Time. That's just like that's like brash, youthful, um, in your face kinda stuff, and it's brilliant to me.
I would agree with you. Also, leading in to that with "Kiss Me Where the Sun Don't Shine," very brash and very youthful. All of the lyrics his in this on this record.
Paul, do you know the answer to that?
We
I
just
know
lost Paul.
most of the songs are credited du duo, like, what's the word? Christ. Uh, I think most of the songs are credited to Ian Brown and John Squire.
Right, it's a bit of a Lennon-McCartney thing, but I don't know if there were just those certain roles.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
we
we
lost
lost we
Paul.
lost Paul.
He didn't wanna answer that question. He felt very on the spot.
Yeah, we're really testing his knowledge.
He's like, "Ah, I didn't go into this area in my research. I'm gonna pretend like I dropped off the call and look it up real quick." There he is.
I lost
Hi,
you guys.
Paul.
I don't know what happened. I lost you guys completely.
Well, we were just talking about, oh, okay, so Wayne and I were just got into the subject of whether Ian Brown wrote all the lyrics,
He did
and
not write all the lyrics.
it looks like it says the Internet's telling me it was mainly a collaboration with Squire,
Right, yes.
and it says here that Squire wrote lyrics for much of their second album,
I think he
Second
wrote I think he wr Squire wrote all the lyrics for Second Coming. I think he became a bit of a dictator.
Yeah.
But but I think the religious stuff is Squire's influence. But I'd love to talk about the lyrics because I have a lot of them written down, and I don't know if She Bangs the Drums is a good example. It's not the best example of my favorite lyrics from the record, but the way that they're phrased makes them difficult to understand, I think, for me. And so I learned a lot of lyrics that I never knew, which is kind of similar to the Suede album. And so I don't I'm gonna touch on definitely some of that, not necessarily on this song. I mean,
Well,
okay, for example, in She Bangs the Drums, "Passion fruit and holy bread fill my guts and ease my head."
yeah, that's cool.
It's pretty good.
That's a great that's a great line. Man, I kind of really want to well, I don't know that it really matters, but I guess I would like to learn more about whether or which lines were more Squire and which lines were more Ian.
I don't know if it's possible.
I know. Yeah, I don't know if it is either. But I think there are certain lines that I've always kind of attached to kind of Ian Brown as a personality. And, part of that would be part of the legend that I've built up in my own mind of him might be diminished if I found out that he didn't write. I mean, not that it would make me feel any differently about the band or the song or whatever. Um,
I
but yeah,
think that's totally reasonable, though. I mean, Ian Brown is such a big personality, and Squire is very understated and quiet. So you could just say they're Ian Brown's lyrics, and nobody would question you if they didn't know.
I mean, God, the day I found out that Martin Gore wrote all the lyrics for Dave Gone and for Depeche Mode, I'm like, Jesus Christ! So there's one genius in the band and a couple other talented people that could sing or whatever. Anyways,
Hired
um,
guns.
so She Bangs the Drums. I agree with Wayne. This is a 10. Paul, is this a 10 for
Yeah,
you?
like I said earlier, it was the first Stone Roses song I ever heard, and I loved it. And lyrically, it's not the strongest of the album, but it's so catchy. It's a pop song, and it's very enjoyable, and I no issues with it at all.
Yeah, and I like how it switches gears from "I Wanna Be Adored" to "She Bangs the Drums,"
Yeah.
only because let me see if I can kinda explain this in the right way. "I Wanna Be Adored" feels, dour might not be the right word, but it seems like it's more down, whereas "She Bangs the Drums" is more up, more kind of excitable, more energetic, and I think they play off really well, and I think it keeps this record. And, I think they kinda do this a couple times in the sequencing, but, it just makes for, like, a really, um, exhilarating listen, you're not bored, and honestly, there's no skips, although I will get to the song soon where, um, apparently a lot of people do skip a certain song on here that is coming up.
Well, don't stop now, Seth.
Well, we'll get to it, it's almost here. Next we have Waterfall. 10.
10.
This is a 10.
August is speechless.
Yes. Well, let me think about it. Okay, so the crazy, weird lyrics, 100% in full force on this song. Lyrics that I had no idea what they were because the way they're delivered is odd, and you know. So I'm gonna read these lyrics, and you guys tell me whether you already knew them or if that you recognize them at all. Okay.
Go on.
Okay. Um, See the steeple pine, the hills as old as time, so good to be put to the test, to be whipped by the winds of the west.
I did not know those words. I well, what's weird is, kinda read yeah, I'll always read the lyrics before we hop on and chat, only because are there insights there, whether I know them really well or just kind of not much at all? Um, so there's certain lines here that I know that I knew that that's what he was saying, but maybe the line before, the line after kinda wasn't as
I
front
mean,
and center for me.
they're almost impossible. Here's another one that I read, and my reaction was, okay, I would never have been able to interpret that. Here's okay. Free from the filth and the scum, This American Satellites One.
That one I knew. I didn't know the other one.
Okay, all right. I mean, I know these melodies and I've never bothered to look up the lyrics. So doing this was a fun exercise because it opened my mind to how good a lot of the lyrics are. I mean, they're very strange and impressionistic and don't really mean much on some of the songs, but they're
Well,
great.
well, well, Paul, are you saying for you that the way that Ian delivers the lyrics make it hard for you to hear what he's saying?
Yeah.
Because for me, I feel like I hear what he's saying, but I also feel like um, there are some bands that are just. First of all, there are some bands that I know all their lyrics, and I just like I could sing along to every song. And then there are plenty of bands that I consider big favorites of mine, where it's more like the song is more of a mosaic, and you're taking it all in at once. And I actually don't know the lyrics for a large portion of the catalog of many bands that I uh, claim to love. So I think here is one of those cases where I feel like I've heard him say these words and I can hear them, but I've never zeroed in on stringing them together into any kind of coherence or just understanding that what words are said when.
I would
Um,
I would think that you think that way though, Seth, because there's quite a lot going on in this song, right? It sounds really simplistic when you just kind of read it out, but you've got the backing vocal, which is stellar, and you got this
Wait,
incredible
wait, wait,
bass.
wait. Rennie.
Yeah, it's awesome. The backing vocal is
Yeah.
absolutely
I
phenomenal.
think Rennie is a better singer than Ian is.
I agree.
And I think
Mm,
Rennie is like a classically trained. He was in choir as a child. And so I think a lot of why the vocals sound good on this record is because it has all these stacked, I think there's numerous tracks of vocals and that Rennie is doing a lot of harmonies.
yeah, I mean, and that's when Seth said mosaic, I was like, "Oh, yeah, that that's it." It's just this big, colorful, wonderful piece of music, really.
And I also
And
think that has something to do with why Ian, the vocals sounded so bad when they played live because on the record there were, I mean, Rennie sang harmonies live, but one Rennie vocal and one Ian Brown vocal compared to just stacks and stacks of vocals on the album. Like they're so layered.
yeah, yeah, hard to replicate live, especially when you're so out of tune. Ian, I never saw the Stone Roses, unfortunately, but I did see Ian Brown live. Um,
Oh, I didn't know that.
it was uh it was amazing because you here you are, and I saw him at the House of Blues in Los Angeles, which, um, is a relatively small venue, and here you are, you see this fucking Ian Brown, and it's so amazing, but, um, lot of sour notes, which anyone who's ever seen any live videos or seen the band live it's no that's no surprise to anybody.
what year was
Um,
that, Seth? Was that his karaoke tour?
karaoke thing, what's that?
Yeah,
Remember when
that
he
was the last tour he did.
yeah, he rocked up without a band or anything, it's
I'm
just him
sure
on
that
stage?
wasn't the one Seth saw.
No,
Okay,
I saw him on, well, I'm gonna have to Google his,
Was it the first album?
no, it was
Let's
maybe like the 3rd,
this.
um, let's see here. What was that? Oh, looks like it was March 2005, and, it's not giving me the Alright, hold on. Ian Brown solo album. So whatever album he came out with in 2005.
he came out with the greatest, his compilation record.
No, it wasn't that.
Fear was 2001, that was sort of where I fell off.
I guess it was called Solarized, which I never would have been able to come up with that on my own.
It doesn't speak highly of the record.
Well, no, I don't really for Ian Brown's solo career, I don't know that know many of
The
the
first
albums.
I bought the first one and I thought that there was some good stuff on it and it was lo-fi and kinda cool. I was sorta shocked, but okay, let's roll this back to Stone Roses. So one of the things I learned in researching this was that Ian Brown took singing lessons in the early days of the band, 3 weeks of singing lessons, and one of the songs that his instructor had him sing over and over was Neil Young's "After the Gold Rush," which I is very funny. I don't know, I would love to hear the Stone Roses covering that song, which will never happen, but, so from day 1, it was known. They all knew, like, he's not a very good singer.
Do you think, Ian got his money back for those singing lessons?
No.
We joke, but he's, he's a personality, and I think when I saw him solo, that's you kind of reckon you kinda, rationalize it that way. Because I'll be honest, like, I mean, I think anybody else if it was anybody else, for me I shouldn't say that. If it was a lot of anybody else's, it's probably a short list of people that can sing off key like that, and I stay for the entire show, and Ian Brown just happens to be one of them, which I think is high praise.
Yes. I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why the band didn't really succeed is because they turned down a lot of gigs, and I think part of it was because he just couldn't really deliver, and I could be wrong, but that's the impression I get.
I don't know about that. I feel like the gap between records for them was probably a bigger detriment to their career, and then the second album not being as I mean, it's hard to top the first record. Um, what's that called? Sophomore slump?
I have such an affinity for Second Coming, and maybe we can touch on that when we get through this album, but let's not get into it right now. Should we move on to I mean, Waterfall, yeah, great song. I don't know if I'd say 10 out of 10, but
9.5 out of 10.
9.69.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
Um,
with 10 again.
yeah, I gotta go 10 too.
Okay.
So, you're weighing down the average, Paul, but okay, that's we understand.
Alright, so let's
Um,
do Don't Stop.
yeah, Don't Stop, that's the one that just because I was kinda Googling certain songs, just kinda see what articles come up, what info comes up. And there's a whole Reddit thread on the Stone Roses, subreddit where people are like, "Oh, this is the one I skip all the time," or "I skip this one very often," or "This is my
Oh,
least favorite song." I think it's brilliant. It's essentially they reverse the guitar, or I guess they reverse all of the music from Waterfall,
right,
play it backwards, and add new lyrics on there,
right.
to the point where when I listen to this record, if I'm just kinda working or whatever, doing something and not really focusing, it almost feels like it's one big song because I don't know that there's any question in anybody's mind that as soon as Waterfall's over, that they're doing something very similar to this previous song, even if you don't land on, "Oh, wow, they just reversed the music and there's new lyrics over it." You can tell that these 2 songs are so intertwined, um, that yeah, it seems like it just seems like a continuation of Waterfall for me.
Same. And when I said, "Don't stop now, Seth," I hope you're
I caught that, yes, I caught
thank you, Paul. I was hoping somebody would be eagle-eared enough.
Well,
Uh,
I was so in the moment of trying to
mm,
express my
no,
feelings.
shut up, Wayne, don't skip ahead. I agree with you though, Seth. I very much enjoy uh, Don't Stop, but I understand the skipping thing. If it were to come up on shuffle on a road trip, I'm probably gonna skip it.
If it came up on your iPod Shuffle.
Yeah, my iPod shuffle on a road trip, and everyone's in the car. They're like, "What is this?" I'd shuffle it. I'd skip it.
Would you disown it? I don't know how this got on there.
No, this is what is this? No,
Yeah,
couldn't possibly listen to this.
is that Ian Brown solo? How did that get on here?
It works in the context of the record. I think it's a pretty clever
Absolutely.
thing, and it's cool, and it's not too long. It works. I don't have an issue with it. I don't know if I'm gonna give it a 9.86 out of 10, but, um, it's almost
I would give this a 10 out of 10.
it's almost like not even really a song. It's kind of like a little inner.
Like an outro, like a long outro, a zony, hazy outro to Waterfall.
Should we move on to Bye Bye Bad Man, which is the name of the painting that is on the cover of the album?
Well, hold on a second. With Don't Stop, I read someone said that they would actually play that live. The actual instruments, they would play it backwards, which is sounds kinda wild to me, but I watched a video and that's what they're doing, man. They play it backwards.
Well, I mean, what do you mean by that? Like they're just playing the chords from Waterfall in the opposite order.
But I mean, you're playing the rhythm backwards.
That's
Um,
interesting. I didn't know that they ever played that live, and I'd like to see that if we could find a YouTube clip or something.
yeah, I'll send one your way. But yeah, on to Bye Bye Bad Man.
My bad.
Paul, you wanna set the stage for this one?
Yeah, well, as I said, so Bye Bye Badman's the name of the painting that Squire did, which is obviously a Jackson Pollock inspired painting, which is this whole thing. Um, and we have to talk about the lemons, which were real lemons that they nailed to the painting. I never knew this until we started researching this episode, but the lemons were inspired by these riots in Paris in '68. Um, I'm just gonna read it. Say, Lemon Slice on the album cover is inspired by riots in Paris, May 1968, which focused on the philosophy of situationalism. Additionally, the protests attempted to suppress the allegedly overbearing establishment of the period. During the riots, lemons were used to counteract the tear gas used by riot police, which I think a lot of people might want to know that these days.
Yeah, I would say so. Like, let's bring that knowledge back into the zeitgeist.
Agree.
I wonder if, that's what Tom York is referring to on Everything in Its Right Place when he says, "Sucking on lemon."
He's doing it wrong, man.
I don't agree with that, but okay.
Yeah.
So
Well,
uh,
yeah, this is a very famous, point in time for Paris. Um Essentially, the way on it, and we don't have to get too much into it, but essentially, I think there was issues with universities not being able to take in all the students that the baby boom from World War II had created. So it was kind of putting strain on the kind of the secondary education aspect. And yeah, they fucking got out there and rioted. Like Europe will throw down. And all this stuff in the US about like, "Oh, can you believe they did that?" It's like, no, they will light Molotov cocktails and throw them at police cars because you're shorting them on their Social Security benefits or whatever the equivalent is in UK. So, yeah, they don't give a fuck. They stand up for their rights, and this was that movement. And I'm glad you brought it up, Paul. You kind of insinuated like we got to talk about this. I didn't know this prior to I didn't know that that's what this song was about. Um, and I don't know, uh I think it's a pretty cool thing to write a song about. And from what I understand, I think Ian kinda happened across this. I think he said 65-year-old man or something. Well, no, he wouldn't have been that old, would he
Yeah.
have been?
No, he wasn't that old.
No, the guy he was talking to.
Yeah, he probably was.
Yeah, I guess you're right, because there's nothing saying that this guy was university age. But you figure if this was, uh if this song was written around 1989 and these riots were in '68, a person of the age to go to university would not be 65. But protest did spread into the kind of the more working class elements of the country, and maybe that's where this gentleman, um, was coming from, I guess.
It's funny having confessed I didn't do any research for this, uh, and now you're telling me it's French. Why is the Dutch flag on the cover? I always wondered, but I guess
No, I
it's
believe those are the French colors, aren't they not?
they are French colors, but they're also Dutch, and it's in the Dutch order. So I always thought it was a Dutch connection. Holland,
Well,
the Netherlands.
maybe John Squire had a soft spot in his heart for wooden shoes.
Maybe.
Yeah, cool song,
This is a song
and
where I feel like the vocals get really buried.
This is one where I think the delivery and the phrasing of the lyrics is so interesting, and I never knew a lot of the words. Uh, okay, example, it's "Soak me to my skin, will you drown me in your sea? Submission ends and I begin." When you say those lyrics, it's like, "Wow, that doesn't sound right." But the way it's sung is odd, like, and I'm gonna sing this, so you try to make a point, but he says, "Will you drown me in your sea? Submission ends, and I begin." So there's no gap in between the lines. "Will you drown me in your sea? Submission ends." It just goes, and it's hard to for me, it's hard to hear the words, because the way they just kind of flow. Uh,
Yeah. He's also singing in a pretty well, maybe it's not a low register. I don't know. There's just something low about it. Volume or register,
and
probably
the
both.
I mean, the lyrics are weird. The next line, "Choke me, smoke the air in this citrus sucking sunshine, I don't care, you're not all there." I mean, to sing those lyrics and have the words be, you know, is just really hard to understand them, but they're really good. And knowing the background of the song, it's like, "Oh, I get it. Choke me, smoke the air in the citrus sucking sunshine." It makes sense.
well, those are really abstract lyrics if you don't know the
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
verbiage,
Yeah, yeah.
which is cool, right? I mean, that's kinda what rock and roll is about, is not being directly on the nose, but then when uncover maybe the source material, you're like, "Oh, it's a whole other it's hitting me on a whole other level now."
Yeah, and I love the best part of the song for me is that outro when it shifts and it's "I've got bad intentions," you know that part?
Yeah,
I've got bad in it's like, that's so hooky, and it's, like, completely unexpected. So
yeah.
good. I love this song. It's really, really good.
10 out of 10?
Yeah, I think 10 out of 10 for this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 10 out of 10 too.
I'm going 9.
No, you're not, Wayne. You're going 10 out of 10.
You don't tell me what I'm going. I'm going 9.
I think Wayne tells you. Wayne tells
I do like that shuffly ending. It's cool.
Well, next up we have the shortest song on the album, Elizabeth, my dear.
Scarborough Fair.
Yeah, Scarborough Fair. Also, I think he's telling the queen where she can shove it, and
Pretty
it's right
much.
around the same areas where the sun doesn't shine.
Yeah, the front part.
Yeah, yeah, it's so weird. It's interesting. I don't like what made them do this. I mean, it's cool, but it's like a very odd thing, I think.
You gotta think about England in the '80s and the
Yeah,
US in
so
the '80s
Thatcher.
or really globally in the '80s, you know? Like, I mean, I know the queen is different than Margaret Thatcher, but that's who was in power at this time. Well, '89, was she? I don't know, but, like, most of the '80s.
I think that was
Um,
John Major by then.
yeah, not a, but I don't know, I don't know enough about royal events to know what was going on in.
Well, I think that it was the '80s and in England, it was not a good time. Like people weren't doing well. The middle class wasn't doing well. And I can understand how offensive it would be to have these jackass, royalty who effectively do nothing. They're not actually governing. So what the fuck are they doing and why are the taxpayers paying for their opulence?
Yeah, nostalgia really, if they went
You
away
leave our queen alone.
Well,
It's tourism, isn't it?
I'm waiting for Wayne uh to to argue against me about the royal family and how great they are.
I would not argue against you. I find them particularly useless. It's funny, side note, I have a King Charles mug because he looked like Alan Partridge
I
in the
think
mug.
I've seen that. I think you've
You would have seen that mug. And then behind me, there's a painting of King Charles, and he's got an award on his suit jacket, and it's called Gymnastics Award. But at work, it just looks like I'm a monarchist. So every call there's King Charles in my hand and King Charles behind me.
You should put up,
But
some Prince Andrew stuff behind you and show your love for what
yeah,
that guy's
well,
all about.
He
eh,
could use some
I
support right about now, I think.
yeah, he's probably having a really hard time having
Really
to live
hard.
in Sandringham, which is a beautiful home. Whatever.
Next up, song for my sugar spun sister.
This one,
10 out of 10.
I don't know about that.
Oh, come on now. 10 out of 10.
Wayne,
Just the
See,
part. Go ahead, Wayne.
no, go.
I was gonna say just the part where he says every member of parliament trips on glue is worth the price of admission.
I just don't see it as a 10.
no, it's not a 10. I mean, it's like a goofy ass love song.
It
And
is, but, the melody is so good. Until the sky turns green, the
eh,
grass
yeah,
is
I mean,
several
catchy.
shades of blue.
Yeah, it's catchy for sure. It's not my favorite. I wouldn't give it a 10.
Alright, guys. Well, I'm carrying the flag for this one, I guess.
And I
I
also
will
like
agree with you that the melody is very nice.
it is, but the lyrically, I don't know. You pointed out a good lyric for sure, but okay, I have to ask, and my hands are stuck to my jeans. That's a his thing.
I knew you were gonna point this part out.
It has to be. Stick to my jeans. Stick to my jeans.
And she knows what this must mean. Plus, why does he say Wayne, uh is it, common in England to refer to a love interest as a sister?
No. Maybe in Manchester. That's more southern states thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. More my, current, uh,
All right. So
my
one of
current
my
logic.
one of my gripes here is that very last vocal and lyrically is so it's bad. Where he's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, the candy floss girl, the sticky fingered boy. Oh, that sister of mine." It's like, ew, like this is all gross.
Um, yeah, I'll give you that. That's gross.
The
Uh,
sticky fingered boy. It's like, man, back to the jizz again.
yeah. Well, I mean, every classic record,
And then it's like, "Ooh,
has their
that's
jizz
sister
reference.
of mine." It's like, you had to bring your sister into it or whatever. I don't know. It's weird. This is
Well,
not
he
my favorite.
they sing about he there's multiple well, I mean, I'm thinking of Love Spreads. He mentions the Messiah is his sister.
Yeah, well,
Um,
that's a totally different thing.
well, okay, so, Wayne, to your point, maybe it is a Manchester thing, kinda how, like, the Gallaghers say that "our kid" is, like, something that Mancunians would say or something like that, you know what I mean? So, there is regional slang here. You may need to look this up.
I have family in Manchester. I'll ask them. I'll update on the next pod.
I'm giving this 7.
Alright, well, this is a 10 out of 10 for me.
Wow.
Oh, in Manchester slang, the most common term for sister or brother, close friend is "our kid," showing affection and family connection.
Well,
But you
then it's
might also hear
perfectly
general
fine.
terms like "sis," or for a very good friend, just calling someone mate, while "homegirl" can be used for female friend. They're not saying homegirl in Manchester, are they? That seems like a '90s, American.
Yeah, again, I've got family there, so I'll ask them.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll put a pin in this one and come
Uh,
back to it.
yeah. Well,
Made of Stone.
ma
This is a 10 out of 10, and you guys better back me up on that.
Yeah, I'll go 10.
I'll go 10.
This song might be my favorite Stone Roses song.
That's
It
ridiculous.
it kicks me in the balls every time I hear it. The lyrics, the melody, the guitar, the drums, the bass. It's got the whole package.
The Okay, so we have to talk about the fact that this is about Jackson Pollock's death in a car crash,
Yes.
which totally checks out, totally tracks. The lyrics track, it all makes sense. Um, White Knuckles, um, and the cars they burn below me. Yeah.
Apparently, um, Jackson Pollock was decapitated in this, yeah, I think how it goes is his wife had just found out that he was cheating on her, so she took off, and then so he was driving with his mistress and another woman, and he was out of his
And
mind.
another woman, jeez.
Well, I don't know what the relationship was there, but he was very drunk and crashed the car, and so the mistress ended up living, but Jackson Pollock and the other passenger, did not.
You didn't make an attempt to get the mistress on the pod?
No, I don't think she's living anymore. 'Cause this is in, like, the mid-50s.
I hope that when I die, I am decapitated.
Uh, I don't think you want that. Like, is it like a chicken where you, are still there's still a semblance of consciousness?
I just think it'd be kinda cool to be like, "Yeah, his head got fully cut off."
Well,
I
Here's
know a guy.
here's a story, I this is, not Stone Roses related, but I have a friend from college, and he became, like, a park ranger at Yellowstone National Park
cool.
when we were in college, and He did that for a summer, and somehow a hiker was decapitated, and he was one of 2 people who had to go recover the body.
Did they find the
Gee,
head?
I think they did.
did they
That's
ever find
fucking
out what
Pollock.
happened?
You know what? I'll have to ask him about that and get back to you.
Did Jackson Pollock have pink lips that were fat?
Probably.
I don't
Huh.
know.
I mean, he was a white man
Maybe that
who
was the mystery.
loved to drink.
Hmm.
His lips were
Shame.
probably red, purple, green, like a bag of Skittles. All right, so to recap, Wayne's gonna get back to us on the Manchester slang and specifically sister, and Paul is gonna get back to us on the Yellowstone.
Status of the head.
Kevin. So far, I have nothing to report back on, but I'm sure we can find something before the end of the episode. Maidstone, it's a great song, guys.
Was Made of Stone a single?
It might have been one in the United States because we need special treatment.
Sure, sure.
Hold on, I have it here.
Quick side note when we're talking about singles, I went on Discogs and I thought to myself, "Oh, it would be cool to get a copy of the 12" of I Am the Resurrection because it has like a remix on it, whatever. It'd just be neat to have." And there is one copy and it was $220. So
Holy mac!
I did not purchase that.
Wait, a 7 inch?
No, a 12".
Uh-oh.
I have a 12-inch right here. It's for I Want to Be Adored, and I paid $2.99 for it at Amoeba. Still has the sticker on it.
That's quite a good deal. But that reminds me of when I bought an acetone record there for like $3, which is now worth a bunch
Yeah,
of
I
money.
wish you would, right?
It happens and you get lucky and you look back to those days and you're like, I made the right decision, and I pat yourself on the back and the bottom.
It's not that it happens. It happened.
That's what I said.
You said it happens.
I don't remember.
Well, you
Oh, is
did.
it I Guess I Would? Is that the one you got for $3?
Yeah, yeah, the country covers record.
That's so weird because I was record shopping there with Ermin in the mid 2000s, and he came up to me. I didn't even know Acetone at the time, and he's like, "Dude, you have to buy this record," and it was $3.
They must have had a number of copies for some reason, because I got it there, and that I got it there when I was visiting him, and I still have it.
Well, remember York Boulevard? We found those copies on eBay. I think you found them
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
for a record that goes for $100. There were these dead stock copies that
yeah,
somebody
yeah.
had. That's crazy.
Wait, did you say you got York Boulevard for $3?
No, York Boulevard, I think we got for around $10.
Oh, what
Let
a
me go look at my
uh,
eBay listings.
you got fleeced.
So next we have Shoot You Down. Who's going first?
Chew You Down is not a 10 out of 10.
Mm, isn't it though?
Uh,
No, it's okay. I'll yield on this, even though it'd be way funnier if I stuck to the bit.
well, the whole lyrically, the story and everything is sort of just angry man beats woman is not very cool.
Huh. I actually didn't know that.
Like,
Oh yeah, no, you're right. I'm just reviewing the. Yeah.
I just
Huh.
thought it was a cool shuffle.
I'd love to do it, and you know you've always had it coming.
But it's sung so sweetly.
That's sinister.
He does sing it sweetly, but it's like, yeah, I'm gonna beat my girlfriend or my wife or whatever. But I don't know.
Oh, this is a 1.
It's a bad vibe. A bad vibe.
It's a total Bye Bye Batman vibe.
Well, Bye Bye Bad Man is a protest song. This is just I'm mad
Well,
at
I'm
my
protesting this Batman.
All right, he is a bad man.
This is their equivalent of I used to be mad at my woman, I beat her, kept her apart from the things that she loved. That's their moment of spousal abuse or domestic violence,
Well,
which is no
hopefully
joke.
he's changing his.
Doing the best that I can. McCartney's gonna send a
Yeah,
cease
I
and
mean,
desist.
no, he's not. I'm Paul McCartney, and I'm sending you a cyst letter.
Yeah, shoot you down. I don't know that I have much to say about shoot you down.
It's
Wayne?
fine. It's fine, but it's not. Let's let Wayne. I don't know. Let
Well,
Wayne.
I don't have any family that can explain this one.
Oh, well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that, Wayne. That seems like how you would want it.
I honestly never really paid attention to the lyrics. I always thought it's quite sweet.
Yeah, I don't
Uh,
know that I did either.
Thanks for ruining the vibe, Paul.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're always there to shoot us down.
I wouldn't have given
You
it a 10.
I probably would have given it close to a 10. But the subject matter now brings it down to -10. All right,
I
guys,
don't.
it's the home
Yeah.
stretch. Oh,
Home
Paul, go ahead.
stretch. No, no. Go ahead.
This is the one that we're talking about now.
So, did you guys know that this song is played at the beginning of every Manchester United home game?
Wow.
No, I didn't, but I did know that they were big United fans.
Yeah.
Wayne, United is your favorite club. I thought that you would know that little tidbit.
I'm always at the Old Trafford
Yeah,
in the
you're always in the
Stretford
loo
end.
when the match
That's right.
starts, so
You've
I've
get
just had
you've had 6 beers and you've got to go to the loo before the match starts, right? Yes.
yeah. You've had a few small beers.
You small
Few small
beers.
beers.
the beers in England are bigger than the beers in America.
Yeah, no, I know. You get bang for your buck there. Bang for
Yeah,
your pound.
the American pint is small.
Yeah, well, it's weird because, everything's supposed to be bigger in America, but we really, screw the pooch on our pint pours.
I'd like
Yeah.
to complain right now about the fact that at my local bar, I never order Guinness there because they charge $11 for the large
What?
pint of Guinness. Well,
Wow.
it's more than a pint. I think it's an imperial pint, but it's like $11, and that's insane. Like I'm not.
That's not the imperial pint isn't that much bigger.
I think it's 16 ounces.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I never order it there because for some reason it's $11, and that's
Well,
crazy.
wait a minute, maybe they're having it flown in daily directly
They are
from
not.
Ireland
They are not
because
doing that.
yeah, kinda like, Maine lobster gets flown in overnight, and then, they have to charge you, like, $110 for the lobster.
your Maine lobster?
"Oh, I don't like lobster. I'm a vegetarian."
Lovely
Is lobster
Linda.
around?
Lovely Linda. Okay, we can't get into the first McCartney solo album right now.
Alright, so next up we have, I Am the Resurrection.
Wait, that's
This is
all
a
we're
10
done
out
with?
of
This is
10.
the one already?
Huh?
We're already done.
Oh,
This is the
no,
one.
no, no, we can go back. I thought we chatted about it.
Bum, bum, ba, bum.
Does that a few times.
Yeah, he does.
I don't
A
know.
conspicuous song for Manchester United to pick, or is it? I don't know. I guess maybe they're focusing on the chorus.
This is the one we've waited for, kind of is like anthemic and makes sense.
Also, I think
Yeah.
Manchester United would like to leave the country, which is a lyric in this. They're not having a good time right now.
for a month of Sundays or all the Sundays moving forward
From
and
the time
Saturdays.
You're at the
when I
time
was
I was
born.
born.
Yeah,
But what
it's a
is this
rough
line? If
go.
only she'd believe me, Bologna, Belladonna. Like, what is that? I don't know what that is.
That's
Wayne?
gibberish.
May- Maybe it's about playing against a European club, and it's actually written for Manchester United.
German. Yeah. Right?
I would think more Italian.
Oh, when Paul said Bologna, I thought he was spelling it like Bologna.
Bellona, I think is what it is that I when I looked it up. So I don't know what it was.
A Roman war goddess,
There you go.
and belladonna is a plant, a deadly nightshade.
Hmm.
Jesus.
That's the reason I don't go out after dark.
Dangerous,
Those
destructive beauty.
those
The,
nightshades.
the pubs have to close at 11.
A
Y'all
tomato
can
is a nightshade.
y'all can come back to my place once the pub closes.
Doing that again, Paul McCartney. Not after last time.
Got a new album.
I guess we don't have anything to say about This Is the One.
Yeah, not really. I mean, it's a good song. It's not my favorite song, but it's like a anthemic, and I guess that's why they play it at the Manchester United game.
Yeah,
Makes
the
sense.
lyrics are easy for football fans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I buy that. You know, at first I was like, "Oh,
They
wow,
just
this is."
focus on this is the one we've waited for, right?
I bet it's super fun to sing when you've had a couple beers with thousands of people.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, you're right. You know, a sports anthem or a team anthem doesn't necessarily need to be word for word doesn't need to be about winning or, you know, fandom. So where I was at in the beginning, I was kind of questioning, oh, this is the one they picked. Okay. Now that you guys are convinced me, I think it makes a lot of sense. Okay, I am the resurrection.
10,
10,
This is a 10 out of 10. This is a
10.
great.
10. It's so fucking good.
It's a fucking banger. And when I put this record on and I was like, oh my God, this song is so the jam at the end is so awesome. And the lyrics are so dark. So dark. This is an
Yeah.
anti-religion song.
Yeah, I mean, great way to end the record. In fact, and I know we'll get to Fool's Gold, but as great as Fool's Gold is, does it kind of belong at the end of this record when you
But Fool's
could end
Gold
it
was
with
not originally on the record at all. So
no, I know, but if you go and you buy a copy of the Stone Roses, it's probably gonna be on there, right?
I
So
don't I don't I don't know.
Wait, it was on the US release,
It was
wasn't it?
on the CD that I had when I was in high school and for sure, but if you buy a vinyl copy, I don't know if it's on there. I don't think
alright,
it's on the
I'm
one
just gonna double check real quick. You could
I
be
don't
right.
I don't think it's on the 2009 version I sent to you guys. Came with that weird 7-inch.
I'd go look at my record, but I don't want to go to the west wing of my gigantic house and
Because
get the record.
you don't wanna have to look at the tiles.
Ah,
What, what pressing do you guys have of this? I have an unofficial pressing because I bought this, like, years before there was an official reissue, which I know, I think the fine folks at Light in the Attic on their, they have an imprint that they reissued this on. So yeah, I have a bootleg, and I haven't really been bothered to remedy that.
I
So,
might have a bootleg.
mine is I sent you a photo, you guys a photo. Mine is the 2009 reissue that comes with this it's, uh, comes with a 7-inch with one-sided 7-inch, and I was very excited because I had I didn't even realize that was in there, and then I listened to the 7 inch and was like, "Yeah, this is not good." Uh, it's a
Well,
song
what's on it?
it's called "Pearl Bastard," and it must be
Huh.
like a very early song, and it's not very good. But this copy does not have Fool's Gold on it, and also it seems to be a desired copy because there's only one available in the US for $230.
Holy Christ.
The, max price paid for it, do you wanna guess?
$250.
$600.
640.
608.
Oh, what?
Jesus.
I was very close.
We were
Wait,
close.
what?
Yeah,
I'm on Discogs. I'm looking. Is it a
2000. Yeah,
European press?
yeah,
Oh, yeah, embossed 7
yep.
inch. Okay. Silvertone, okay. Holy mackerel. You can there's a range of $55 to $739. Come on, there's no way this thing sounds that good.
It sounds good. I listened to it recently, and it sounds great. I mean, I'm not saying that there aren't other versions that sound just as good, but I was very pleased when I listened to it.
Let's see, pressed by MPO. Okay, I'm game. I'm on board with this. I would say Stone Roses are a band that, no pun intended, I don't feel like many stones are left unturned when it comes to their B-sides. Only because, they released well, first of all, they only have 2 records, right? So, um, and then Made of Stone was the B-sides record.
Made of Stone rules, but I don't wanna stop talking about I Am the Resurrection.
Okay.
Um, I took note of some of my favorite lyrics, which, as I said previously, are quite dark, and I will recite them for you now so that you can, enjoy them.
Okay.
Alright? "Stone me, why can't you see? You're a no one, nowhere washed up baby who'd look better dead.
Yikes.
Your tongue is far too long. I don't like the way it sucks and slurps upon my every word." It's so good, and I never really thought about it. I don't think I ever noticed the sucks and slurps part, but that's like, wow. I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like that's a John Squire lyric.
Oh, that's gotta be. Our boy Ian, he's not writing stuff like that.
Oh.
He's a good church-going boy.
His quite long hair now, though.
And the beard. Well, I mean, I think he looks very dapper.
Well, at Annie's funeral, he did not have a beard, and he
He didn't?
just had really long gray.
White hair. Yeah, he looks like a wizard that lives up on a mountain. Um, I have to say he's had some weird looks over the past, like the mullet with the chopped bangs. And I would say when I saw a photo of him recently, oh, wow, he's like aging gracefully into, he's got style now. I mean, he's always had style. I don't mean to say that, but I think he's kind of finding his look all of these years later.
Should we talk about how Ian Brown went to prison for a while?
He did?
I
Yeah,
would like to know more about this. I don't
you guys
know much
don't
about
know about this?
No.
No.
This was, like, after the Stone Roses broke up, and I'm gonna Google it real quick because I don't know the details, but he went to prison, um, for, like, a couple years.
Yikes.
Okay, here we go. No, it wasn't a couple years.
It was a
Okay,
night.
it was a 4-month prison sentence for an air rage incident. Where
Whoa.
he threatened to cut off an air hostess's hands.
My God. Was he on
Oh,
drugs?
oh, and he was at Strange Ways. Here we come.
Wait, what year was this?
1998.
Hmm. Okay, I buy it. the band's over, you're kind of figuring out what's next, you're you're a short fuse, you're
I guess he also banged on the cockpit door, so that was probably not a wise move.
he
Post
bangs the
9/11.
door.
Wait, but cutting off a hand is not. It's not like threatening, surely.
That
Oh, but
sounds
it's
like a bit of a nervous
pretty
breakdown
aggressive.
type of situation.
Sure, but it was a remedy to a situation.
I don't think it was much of a remedy.
And must
Yeah,
have made them
fine,
feel
I'll just
better
cut
some
my
way.
hands off.
No, cut her hands off.
Oh.
Chop
Oh,
her.
I thought he was having a psychotic
No,
break.
quote,
Okay.
saying he'd, quote, chop her hands off.
Oh,
Chop
yeah,
is
you can't say
chop is
that.
more aggressive than cut.
You know better, Ian.
He's a hardened the
Criminal.
criminal. Yeah.
Wow. I wonder if, you think John Squire visited him in prison?
I doubt it. They were
Do you think
probably not
you
very
think Liam Gallagher visited him in prison?
no, maybe, I don't know.
Squire was probably doing the seahorses then.
Oh god.
Mm, delicious.
I had such high hopes for that. I really wanted to love it.
Now we know where we're going, baby.
There
Yeah.
is a rumor now that I've seen a couple times that Squire and Liam Gallagher are gonna do another album this year while Oasis is taking a break from what might or might not be more stuff.
You
Honestly,
know,
keep Liam busy is how I feel.
I revisited that record recently, and maybe I'm just, you know, dressing up a pig, putting lipstick on a pig. But there were a few songs that I was like, "You know what? This isn't that bad."
There's some bangers on that record,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I listened to it about 2 weeks ago, and I thought, yeah, I might have been harsh on this.
And I think I completely dismissed it
I
on
mean,
its
Squire's
release.
playing is so good, but
Yeah.
some of the songs are decidedly bad. But I it was just so good to hear him play again, you know?
I know. Yeah, he's kind of, hasn't done too much, right?
Yeah, not much at all since his pretty bad solo albums.
Yeah.
Well,
Should we
fool's gold?
should we talk about Fool's Gold?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
I would like to.
More like fool's goals, because this song was used for, like, goal of the month in England.
Oh.
So, that bass groove and the fucking wah pedal going off to bang in goals is my childhood,
Ah,
and it rules so hard. And it's the epitome of baggy.
It's a very baggy
I
feeling.
feel like the song, though, is, like, better than anything Happy Mondays ever did.
Mm,
Maybe. It's very good.
I think I have to I can't. I love the Mondays. I love the Mondays. It's a fantastic song, and, if I were to sit down and rank it, maybe it is better than anything they did, but I don't know that I could shoot from the hip and state that.
Alright.
Happy Mondays have some brilliant, brilliant songs.
So one of the things about this song that I've always wondered about is the rhythm section, a loop? Are the drums and the percussion a loop? Because it sounds like it is, but when I looked it up, I Googled it and it says, you know, showcased the rhythm section of Manny on bass and Rennie on percussion. And it was, I guess, Squire wrote it listening to the song called Hot Pants by Bobby Bird. So the rhythm is based on that song Hot Pants by Bobby Bird. But it's still I can't like, did they real is it really it sounds like a loop. The drums sound like a loop to me, but that it doesn't say that it's a sample, so I haven't been able to get to the bottom of it, I don't know.
I got to
Well,
admit,
okay.
I thought you were saying it was aloof.
No, a loop.
Wow,
Yeah, it's
I
very
don't think it's
aloof.
aloof, but yeah.
Um, so my research said that it was a sample from a James Brown song
Yeah,
called "The
that's not
Funky
right.
Drummer."
No, that's not right. That's inaccurate.
Is it though?
It is, that's been covered. If you do a little more research, which you should have done and you didn't do, and you should be deeply embarrassed, you'll find that Ian Brown stated the song was written based on The Funky Drummer by James Brown, but the actual source is Hot Pants by Bobby Bird.
Hmm. Okay. I'll I'll err. I'll yield to you on that, only because I don't have uh any rebuttal evidence. You win this one, Paul.
I
For
like
now.
okay, so let can we
I will report back on this on the
yes,
next pod.
research it and, we'll do a follow-up 10-minute episode. Um, Marquis de Sade is a figure that has come up a few times. There's a Manson song where Marquis de Sade is mentioned. So,
Reading novels is banned.
yeah, yeah, and also in this song, obviously, and also because I'm a guitar nerd, Wayne, you might know this, when Liam and John Squire did their tour in support of their record, John got a custom shop Strat from Fender, and he carved the lyrics from this song onto the guitar. These boots were made for walking, the Marquis de Sade never made no boots like these. And I don't really know what that means, but I just figured I'd bring it up because I find it interesting, and I don't know anything about this guy other than his, like sex books or whatever he wrote that
Yeah, he
apparently
was a
they're very
sex pervert.
offensive. They were too offensive, right? That
He
was
wrote
the thing.
120 Days of Sodom.
Yeah, he was uh maybe the earliest example of being sex positive, as we would say this in this day and age.
Are you the second example?
No, hardly. I aspire to it, but I've fallen short.
So,
Guys, whoever said Made of Stone was their favorite Stone Roses song earlier in this episode is wrong because
also
Fool's Gold is everyone's favorite. It's a great song. I love the intro. I mean, part of me feels like if they had really focused in, I wonder if they had kind of followed this up, if they had done their second album within 2 years, I wonder if it would have been like really jammy, long stuff, just like, kind of zony, but also like kind of like freaking out on the guitar solos and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't really don't know where I'm coming with this other than the fact that Fool's Gold was it was the it was the song they wrote most recently after the first record, right?
Yeah,
Um
yeah.
so I don't know. I guess I'm envisioning or making up an alternate history where their follow-up record was more in that spirit and
They had to stop. They by court order, I think they had to stop recording, or they couldn't because of the legal label issues. Like they had to stop recording for like 2 years or something. Like,
Yeah.
kinda didn't do anything, and that really screwed things up for them.
Yeah, it was the majority of it, from my understanding, was not in under their control.
But also
Also,
they signed contracts and made horrible decisions. It wasn't like it was n it wasn't as if it was not their fault. It was definitely their fault. Like, they signed all these contracts that were terrible and just didn't
yeah.
look at them. And it's
Do
like,
you
well,
know what the terms of or what were for that first contract with Silvertone?
yeah,
8 albums.
good luck with that.
But, guys, I think that was the norm back then. The labels took advantage of bands, and whether they believed in them or not, they basically backed them into a corner with dangling this thing. And, I hear what you're saying, Paul, where it's like, is it a bad business decision? Absolutely. But you're young, you're a band, you're excited. Here are these people who are like promising you the moon and the stars and yada yada yada. And you sign, especially, if you're a young musician in the late 80s and you have someone who says, "Wow, you guys are great. We want to commit to you. We want to be in the Stone Roses business." Let's say 8 records.
That's absurd. No band makes 8 good records, you know? Like,
Well,
also, apparently, like, their manager stole a shit ton of money from them, which is not their fault, like, they just got fucked by that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, but they signed a number and they made a lot of bad decisions, like, like, they didn't play Glastonbury because John Squire broke his collarbone riding a fucking mountain bike,
Yeah.
like, that kind of shit happened.
that is not a cool way to break a bone.
It's not cool at all. And
Are we gonna talk about the paint?
oh, apparently there was an incident where God, I wish I could remember. I don't remember the details, but it was like somebody they were pissed off at. They broke into his house and they threw paint all over the dude and his wife and all over their house. And like,
Yeah.
yeah. Who was that? Do you know, Wayne?
I read about it earlier because I wanted to remind myself of it, but it was because Sally Cinnamon got released without
Yes,
their
right. So,
blessing.
right, they were signed to that weird label called, the first couple singles came out on some weird random label, and that guy just milked it, as you would, like, it was he made
Revolver.
that's right, he made a video for that
Yeah.
song without their consent, they weren't even in it, and he made a video, and they got pissed, and they went and busted into his house and threw paint all over the place.
Yeah, paint in his house and paint all over his new car, and they got they got thrown in jail for that, and they had to pay a bunch of damages. Manny wasn't there, but apparently joked about them being raped in prison.
As you do.
Holy mac.
So Ian Brown's been in prison twice.
Jesus.
They were charged £3,600 each.
God, that's a lot.
It's a lot of
Wait,
money.
no, okay, 30s, yeah, but back in the day, that's a lot.
I mean, as a young band, that's not easy money.
So, can I tell you guys, would it be inappropriate for me to tell you guys how I obtained my copy of the Love Spreads 12-inch?
No, I would like that.
Okay, so, this is pre-internet, and I was a fan of the band, and it took so long for the second album to come out, and, you don't get much news, it's hard to get news about these bands in that, in the '90s. So I was visiting this college, which I believe was Eastern Michigan College, just to see if I was interested in going there, and I don't remember anything about the trip other than there was a record store that I saw. I was like, I want to stop here to this record store. Made my mom take me, and I go in and I'm listening. They're playing this music, and I'm like, this sounds like the Stone Roses. And I go up to the guy and I'm like, is this Stone Roses? And he's like, yeah, it's the new single. And he's playing the 12 inch. And I was like, well, I want to buy this. And he's like, God damn it. And he's like, all right, hang on. I got to just make a cassette copy of it for myself. So I had to stand in the store and wait for him in real time to rip a cassette like copy of the whole thing, which I mean, so I think Love Spreads is the one song on the A side, and the B side's like a good 10 plus minutes. It's got this song called Groove Harder, which is not on you can't it's not on streaming at all. And it's a total ripper, which is insane. I don't know why it's not available. But so anyways, I forced this guy to sell this to me. It was probably like $10. And I brought it home and was like, "Holy shit, like, I have the new Stone Roses single," and it was so exciting, and it bums me out to this day that people hate on that record because I still love it, and I was so amped when I got that. I was like, "This is incredible." I mean, it's a good single. Love Spreads is a good single.
It's a fantastic song. Very well written, well executed.
Wayne, what do
I
you
love it.
of Love Spreads?
Love Spreads is good. The second record is not for me.
Well, who is it for then if it's not for you? Tell me that,
I
mister.
like it. That's for me.
For Paul,
I like it too. It's for both of us.
I think it sounds like earlier U2.
What?
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know
That
what it
seems like a
is.
ridiculous statement, but,
You're gonna
let me
listen
go
to
listen
it
to it.
and just you're never gonna hear anything else.
But
Hmm.
in the Bandsplain podcast, they were like, "Oh my god, the first song's 10 minutes long, and it's 4 minutes until it actually gets into the actual song." And it's like, "Man, who fucking cares? It's a banger, it, like, rules." I think
I'm
it's
gonna
great.
I think we should start a rivalry with the Bandsplain guys.
Yeah,
Oh, are you trying to excuse me, are you trying to splain to me?
Yeah, I think we should do that.
I
Like,
think
"Oh,
that's
if you
great.
wanna be Bandsplained to, listen to these douchebags."
Yeah, I mean, come on, no one likes to be splained to,
Yeah,
except Paul.
uh, Wayne, do you have a copy of the first Stone Roses album on vinyl?
I do.
What pressing is that? Is that a bootleg?
I think it's the bootleg. I'm not gonna go and look.
Oh,
I'll
dude.
let you guys know. We'll
Alright,
update our Instagram page.
report back on the Manchester thing and what pressing you have. Now you have 2 things,
Got 2
Paul
pieces
and
of
I have 1. Well, guys, we've said it all. It's a great record. It belongs in the Hall of Fame of, I mean, just music or awesome things.
So,
You know,
what I agree. What's your final ranking, Seth?
this record is 10 out of 10, and uh, that's not me continuing the bit from ranking each song that
Yeah.
score. This is a record that, um I hesitate to say life-changing, but no, let me say that, life-changing. I mean, does it change your life in a way that, like, finding $1,000,000 in, a a a gas station bathroom would? No. But does it make your life richer from a cultural, kinda arty, musical standpoint? 1,000%. It, um Yeah, and, all of these years later, I could put this record on and listen to the whole thing straight through, and then probably wanna put it on again. It's that good. It's a classic.
Blind. Paul?
I am a huge John Squire fan. I like I don't have an issue with his Zeppelin obsession. Which is weird because I don't even really like Zeppelin that much, as I know you don't. But his guitar play on Second Coming rips, and I don't know how anybody could gripe or be upset about that. But his guitar playing is also amazing on the first record. I mean, on Fool's Gold, the wah wah shit. He had great taste in guitars, which, in that day and age is kind of a rarity. Like the fact, like as I said, he was playing a fucking Gretsch Country Gentleman, which is so cool, and it wasn't cool at the time, but in hindsight, very cool. Um, I mean, I'm sure he played probably some Rickenbackers too. Um, but I think Squire is just like one of the coolest dudes ever. Um, you know, played with Oasis on Champagne Supernova at the what gig was that? Nebworth?
Really?
Yeah,
Seth?
I didn't know that.
Knobworth.
Oh, no, I did know that.
Yeah. Um,
Who's a better guitarist, John Squire or Nick McCabe?
Squire.
Squire's technically better, but McCabe is quite good.
The only reason I asked that is because to me, in my mind, they're similar, like that swirliness that they kinda spin up, in a lot of the parts that they write.
I mean, McCabe is definitely more of a psychedelic player than Squire is, and he's
Yeah.
using more effects. Um, I think Squire is technically more talented, but they're both great. I love them both.
Yeah, yeah, good answer. I don't disagree. Well, gentlemen, we've said it all.
Have we?
Well, we've said most of it.
Yeah, I think we
Most of
pro
it for what we can pack into, 2 hours.
I will
I mean,
say that this probably is one of the, closest to a perfect debut, I would rate.
Until we get to
hands down.
until we get to the blue tones.
Until
Yeah.
then, yes. I don't
Yeah,
know
the
that
blue
we'll
tone.
ever cover the blue tones. You're overlooking a great man, Paul.
Or we could talk about Gene.
Hackman?
Dean Wareham.
No, Gene. You remember that band Gene?
Oh, no.
Gene loves Jezebel. Yeah.
No, they were just called Gene, and they're like,
I know who you're talking
"All
about.
right, all right," but they're like, they reunited, and I was like, "I can't believe anybody cares at this point." But they like got back together. They're playing shows. I'm like, this band, like, all right,
Well, you also hate Cast, and they opened for Oasis, so
ugh, Cass. Well, we should do an episode about Cass just so I could gripe about them.
I would
Oh,
like to
no.
hear that personally.
And you know what? Maybe I think this could be a challenge. Like, let's all listen to the first Cast album and then just text about it.
Okay.
I'm in.
I think that's a worthwhile endeavor. Well, guys, let's leave on this thought. Today is January 8th. That is the 10th year anniversary of Black Star, the final David Bowie record, and it also would have been his 79th birthday. So, yeah, the world is a lot less bright these last 10 years without David, and
I'm actually going to see a Bowie like tribute show at the end of the month, which is not a thing I would ever normally do, but my buddy is like, "It's awesome. I've gone the last 3 years. It's so good. You gotta go." And I guess Michael Shannon is involved. He's gonna sing a
What?
songs, yeah.
No way.
Yeah, Michael Shannon does a lot of, like, cover band shit.
Well, I know he was doing the REM thing,
Yeah, but I guess
and,
he's
he did a thing while I had just moved to the area of Atlanta, and so he did, he played at a place in Athens, like the place, I'm forgetting the name, but the famous place where kinda REM came up, and fucking REM was there and got on stage and basically had like a mini reunion,
I heard
which
about that.
I don't think they've I don't think they've ever been on stage since they officially split. Yeah, and all that happened like an hour and a half away from me, and I say bullshit for me not having the wherewithal to go to it.
Incredible.
Anyways, Michael Shannon related David Bowie thing sounds
Yeah, yeah.
awesome.
I'm gonna
I will. I'll give you a word of caution. On the first anniversary of David Bowie's death, I took Marin to see the Seattle Symphony play songs by Bowie, and it turned out to be a Bowie cover band with an orchestral backing.
I remember this story.
It was very bad, and I got front row seats because I wanted them to really feel it, but all we had was a guy with a mohawk gyrating in our face, uh, which was fun in its own way.
Well, maybe, you can find a way to replicate that for your next anniversary.
Actually, yeah, 10th is coming up, so
You could get out here for this Bowie thing.
yeah, I'll definitely book a flight.
Okay.
Wait, your 10th anniversary is coming up?
Yeah,
You got married after Bowie died? That seems ridiculous. Oh, yes, you did,
yeah,
because you got married right as Trump was, he had been elected. Trump had
yeah,
been elected a couple of and
what a day.
you wanna know, guys, for better or worse, this is how I kinda, like, deal with certain people not being around anymore. I say, "Oh, at least David Bowie never had to see Trump be president." And isn't that a gift in a way?
That is a gift.
Uh,
Ugh, on
well,
that note,
you guys, if you can make it out for the Bowie tribute show, you can stay at my place gratis. That means free.
I'm looking up flights as we speak.
You could probably just drive.
Oh, that's gonna be way too far.
Yeah,
Like
I
4
think I could
hours.
drive to see Ehrman.
I think it's like
It's
2
not 4
hours.
hours to
It's 2 hours.
it it is not 2
It
hours.
is.
To Chicago?
Mhm.
It's a 2-hour flight.
2-hour drive.
No, it is not.
Bring this up right now.
Yeah, we are. It's a 10-hour and 44-minute drive, you assholes.
Well, if you
How
drive fast,
oh,
Yeah, just double your speed. 5 hours.
triple your speed.
God. You guys are driving me nuts. Arr. Arr, matey. Alright, guys, I gotta run. Love you. Good to chat again.